boy Two Tone Too Real. Got a Fortnite video for y'all today. I've been playing a lot of this game. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Anytime I get a little free time, this game's what I'm probably playing. I pretty much abandoned Call of Duty. I ain't played that shit in like weeks, man. But yeah, shit's dope as fuck, man. The new updates, I'm digging all of that shit, man. I'm with it. Been playing this game for a while, and one thing I noticed right off the rip is that, one day I was just fucking around and I figured out that on PS4 you can just plug a mouse and keyboard straight into the console and the shit just works. The game just supports it, right? Shit's lit, like it's crazy. And so I made a tutorial about it or whatever. The link's in the description. It pretty much explains it. It's really pretty simple. You just plug it in and it works. But yeah, it's crazy. And I tried my damnedest to like play that shit because I'm a console player, and so I want to try to see the advantage of mouse and keyboard and try to get better or whatever and really try that shit. But with this game not having like no practice mode or no like custom games or no shit like that where you can just fuck around, it's really fucking hard because I would just basically land, get some loot, and by the time I get in a gunfight and shit, I'm fumbling on the motherfucking keyboard and I just get my ass wrecked. And then guess what? I'm back in the lobby. And that shit just got so tedious doing it over and over again. A nigga like me is not patient enough to sit there and do that shit. I said, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna do this shit. So I went back to the controller. You know what I'm saying? Went back to the motherfucking controller. And, I heard they announced that Combat Pro controller configuration, and when they announced it, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is gonna be dope. I'm thinking it's gonna be something like, cause I'm a Call of Duty player. I'm thinking it's gonna be something like bumper jumper or stick and move, like one of those configurations from Call of Duty, where basically you don't have to remove your thumbs from the sticks. You can still keep your thumbs on the sticks, move around, and be able to jump or whatever else you're trying to do. And so when it came out, it's cool. I like the way you could swap the weapons, with the top two buttons. But, it just wasn't what I thought. When they said Combat Pro, I thought it was going to be something that would, help you be a little bit more aggressive, But anyways, so, I didn't do that. I didn't really use that. I stuck with the standard controller configuration. But something I realized and remember is that on PlayStation and Xbox One, you can swap out the buttons. You can do button remapping. And so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna find the perfect button configuration, and I'm gonna dominate, you know what I'm saying? And so I tried a whole shitload of combinations. Some of them hoes sucked and had me fumbling and fucked up, and there was a couple of them that actually worked pretty damn good. And so I'm going to share those with you, the ones that I recommend using. And in the future, the next video, I'm going to try to, try some out that's more geared towards building, to where maybe on the controller, because, that's one thing that's really hard on controller is building. And so I want to try to figure out a different configuration that might make building a little bit more easy. So be looking forward to that. But today, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the little tutorial about how to button swap, just in case you don't know how. If you already know how to do this shit on your PS4 or Xbox One, then the link is in the description to skip forward. We're going to start out with PS4. From the main menu, you go to the settings. From settings, you go to accessibility. You scroll down to button assignments. You click that. You want to make sure you click the check mark. Once you do that, you go down to customize button assignments. Click that. Boom, you're in it. From there, you can pretty much swap any button with any other button that you want to, and pretty much configure shit how you want to. If you fuck shit up, you can always just reset, and there you go. If you got a configuration you like, but you don't want it to be on because you're playing a different game or you're doing something else, all you got to do is go to the previous screen from here and uncheck the check mark that you checked before. And basically, it'll put you back to default without deleting what you got. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Xbox. It's pretty much the same thing. From the main menu, go to the settings. Go to connect and devices, go to device and accessories. You want to click on the controller that you have connected. If you have more than one, it'll be more than one, but click on the one you want to do. From there, you go to button mapping. Then you click configure. Then from there, you go to button mapping again, another button right there. Click on there, you go to button mapping again. And then from here, you can swap out anything you want. Just the same on PlayStation. It's just, I guess you do it one button at a time. And pretty much that's it. Simple. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the configurations that I recommend. The first one is going to be based off the Combat Pro configuration that they gave us. And this one is basically going to be for people that like to cycle through their weapons left and right instead of just going like this right here. For example, I'm on the second weapon. I have to scroll all the way through my weapons to get back to my first weapon. Some people don't like that shit. They like the Combat Pro where they can basically toggle either way through their weapons, and I think that's dope too. I just got so used to the standard configuration that's what I use. But so this is for the Combat Pro configuration. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the swap from the X key on the PlayStation would be the A on Xbox, which is jump. We're going to swap that out with the right stick, which allows me to do shit like this, move around and jump at the same time. In Call of Duty, like I said earlier, this type of configuration is what we would call bumper jumper or stick and move, and basically it allows us to jump and move around, still move in all directions like we want to at the same time. Same thing maybe a scuff controller or something like that can do for you, and it makes a huge difference. It takes your game to the next level if you get used to it and you use it in the right way, because the time that it takes to take your finger off the stick to press jump or whatever, you could be dead in a game like this. So to me it makes a huge difference. Okay, so next we're going to address another button swap that I chose to do. The buttons you use to cycle through your weapons in Combat Pro mode are R1 and L1. We move those down to the left and right D-pad. This still gives you the ability to cycle through your weapons left and right, but it frees up L1 and R1 for us. That brings us to our next swap, which is X on the Xbox or square on PS4. And this is a button used to pick up stuff, to crack open chests, open doors and shit. We're going to swap this button out with the R1 button. And this basically is the same principle as swapping the jump button with the stick. Is it allows you to keep your thumbs on the stick and pick up stuff still. So what I like to do is I like to swoop on a roof or something, let somebody else crack it open, and then spam the button and grab the weapon and take them out. And this makes it so much easier because you can still, you don't sacrifice any movement. You can still pick up stuff, and it just makes it so much easier. The other swap is crouch to L1, and I just did that because it would have been on X, since on this mode crouch is originally on the right stick, and so it would have been on X, and I figured if we're going to keep our fingers on the stick, we might as well move it to L1. So you can either leave it at X or move it to L1 like here. The next configuration we're going to get into is based off the standard controller configuration, and it's for people like me that really never got used to the Combat Pro and are used to cycling through your weapon with triangle. And so basically it's the same as the other. It's just we don't involve swapping out the weapon cycle button. Okay, so, and really you can experiment yourself and come up with your own combination that might be doper than this. If you don't mind, leave shit in the comments. If you've already got some combinations, that you think is dope, leave them hoes in the comment. Sharing is caring, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Help a nigga out. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I know some of you asked for some gameplay or whatever. Haven't really had a lot of time to get any good gameplay together. I've been working on music and on the grind a little bit. So don't really got a lot of that, but I'll probably go ahead and upload a little something for y'all, gameplay wise. maybe today. We'll see. If I do, I'll drop the link in the description. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I think I'm probably, once I get some time, gonna start streaming a little bit. I got a Twitch and everything. I'll probably stream on Twitch and then drop highlights and everything else on YouTube. So that will be in the description if you want to follow me on Twitch and shit. Other than that, you know what I'm saying, I cut my fingernails for all you motherfuckers bullying me in the comments about my fingernails and shit being too long. I had to keep my thumbs because, I got to break down the swisher or whatever, or the backwood, but I cut the rest of my nails so you don't got to worry about that shit. Other than that, man, check out the music. Drop some shit on Spotify not too long ago, exclusive. Check that shit out. Follow me on all my social medias. And other than that, man, I'm out of here.